This is the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney with a quick check on what's going on. So here's my man to get into it.
Hump day, everybody. Hope all's going well. Man, football is all of a sudden back on TV. Just snuck up on me. I didn't realize it until this past Thursday. Saw the TV schedule. I'm like, what? But yeah, summer's starting to wind down here. A lot of folks taking those last vacations before school starts and the fall season gets going. Me, I've been down in Atlantic City the past 2 weekends and about to be every weekend here for a bit. Not gambling. I'm not throwing my money away like that, but more on what I am spending my money on down there in a couple of weeks. For now,
my favorite stories of the day.
We'll start with sort of a mystery, since right off Tacoma, Washington's Owen Beach was a boat. That led to a weird but logical conclusion that either cats can drive a boat or somebody left a bunch of little kitties stranded on a boat. KOMO TV, Como News 4 is reporting 53 cats in all were found on this sailboat docked offshore. They say somebody on a paddle boat first spotted the cat castaways, to quote one Como reporter's pun, and Tacoma police and animal control went out and managed to get over 40 cats off the boat on their first trip the Thursday before last, on the 6th. And if the kitties did steal the sailboat and drove themselves out there to dock, well, they did not pack enough goodies to make it a sanitary situation, since police marine unit officers and animal control say those conditions, oh man, pretty filthy if you think about it. And they think the cats had been out there for some time, maybe months before being spotted. But they say the felines were fed and watered, just stuck on a sailboat in the water with nowhere else to go. So we're there for a while around their own, pee and poop. Rescuers say some were hiding underneath in a cabin area, so had to make more than one trip to find them all. And Como News is saying cops think they found the boat's owner, but no charges at this point. The kitties, they were all taken in by the local Humane Society, which checked them out and said they were thinking of putting them up for adoption, so they're not that bad off. Seems they all make for good shipmates, if nothing else. Alanis Morissette would be proud of this one. Arizona State public safety troopers pulled over a pickup truck in Flagstaff the Saturday before last on Route 66 for a broken tail light. Now, KPHO CBS 5 in Phoenix is reporting troopers say it was clear as day to them after walking up to the driver's window that driver was drunk or impaired, using their language. Now, troopers say the driver admitted to having a few too many drinks to be sober behind the wheel, and they say a blood alcohol test showed they were 2.5 times over the legal limit. So arrested the driver and took a picture of the person's license plate to show off, since the plates, they're about as ironic as the driver being arrested for a DUI, since the plates read drive sober, arrive alive, or get pulled over. It's like good advice you just didn't take, and who would have thought? It figures. And the day before that driver's license plate foretold their own situation, in mid-Missouri, Friday before last, back in my alma mater, city of Columbia, some 30-year-old guy ended up in jail for being in a kid's bouncy house. KOMU NBC8 ran a story on this, saying the owner took a look at surveillance video and saw two people actually walk in at first, head straight into the big bounce house that they have inside, and fell asleep. Both of them for about 20 minutes before a worker tried to wake them up. Now, police ended up being called. Officers came and say they found a bag of Xanax pills in the one man's SUV, and say that security video also showed the 30-year-old stumbling out of the bouncy house. And KOMU is saying court documents claim they were in there while children were there present. Probably confused by a couple of grown folks just walking in there, knocked out sleep while they just want to jump around. KOMU and cops did not say what happened to the other person, though, but that 30-year-old went from the bouncy house to the big house, booked into jail, and the court ordered him to stay away from the Tiger Bounce Kids Center. Back in a moment, but before we break.
Blazing the best hip-hop, R&B, reggae, soca.
You can get the Jams Podcast Mix on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeart, Apple Podcasts, and Deezer. Download the podcast for free.
It's Jams Hour Mix with Greg H.
Quadratic formula. X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Hey, I can think again.
onto stumble, and stumble into love.
Turn those sounds out of her mouth into a soothing stream of gentle assurances and appreciation. Side effects include munchies, laziness, and inability to make it off the couch.
And now for the world around us.
A week now since the solar eclipse that folks in parts of Europe got to see more of, and wouldn't you know, the UK's Metro News site is reporting Google Trends data showed hundreds of people Googling eye injury skyrocketed from about the time the moon moved in front of the sun. Searches for that phrase in the UK jumped 5,000% compared to the day before, while eyes hurt also had about 100 people searching for that around the peak of the eclipse. Better late than never for anyone not hearing news folks like me reminding us all of what not to do. And hey, hopefully they were able to read their search findings after Googling. But it just shows that some people are just slow to search for info before needing that info. Also shows what happens to those who do not pay attention to news anymore to be reminded not to do the dumb shit they otherwise would. Also in the UK, in Somerset, a farmer bride in a long white gown rode a cow to her wedding the Saturday before last. This happened with plenty of pictures posted in the New York Post story that they picked up. The 37-year-old woman told reporters she grew up on a farm and always dreamed of riding one of her cows into her wedding. So, hey, dreams do come true. She was actually driven to town on a tractor before hopping off to get on her favorite brown bovine that she named, by the way, White Chocolate Button. White Chocolate Button had to stay outside the church after what was only about a 30-second ride, so that poor cow couldn't see the nuptials. Went through all that for a half-minute joyride. A bunch of smiles, though, in the pics. And it was actually a wedding to celebrate the couple's 10th anniversary, so the couple had their 4 kids there. The bride said it was her first time riding White Chocolate Button. Singaporean Chinese newspaper Zaobao had this story picked up by an English news site on how a wealthy investor there paid to star in her own show with this up-and-coming 23-year-old actor named Zhang Yufei. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name, but he had a bit to say himself about this recent movie shoot since he was cast to play the male lead in the drama series and says this rich girl not only French kissed him during the first shoot, but held the back of his head to keep him from backing away from that tongue. And Zaobao is reporting she paid for it all, so had final say on the script and decided that script should include about 60 kissing scenes. Oh, she liked old boy. The producer and others on the set could not talk her out of these script changes, so she apparently got her money's worth. But now that young actor started posting about it on social media, and the platform that was supposed to stream the series rejected it because of all the kissing scenes, saying it was too explicit. For all that, she could have got more than kisses. Back in a moment.
Want to break? Which connect to the bars for maximum resistance up to 5 pounds.
I'm being pranked, right?
And 2 all-natural 5-pound stones for upper body workouts. Or slip the compact stones in your pockets for a power walk.
A power walk? Some rocks in my pocket? And 2 rubber bands and 2 sticks?
The workout kit. Portable and light. Hundreds of workouts. The possibilities are endless. Only $49.99 if you order today. 212-555-5555.
This really was nice kit.
The workout kit. 212-555-5555.
Baby, do you really love me?
Call now. $99 shipping and handling added to cost.
Boy, bye.
Music. What's up with what's going down, though?
Yeah, what's up with Instagram's algorithm knowing I want chefs, musicians, home improvement contractors, and comedians filling my feed? I mean, thank you for paying attention to me, Meta. It's creepy, but it's kind of cool, too, how you just knew I would want to hear stories about your mama from Slink Johnson or all the backstories to how all these songs were made and how, for instance, this one artist got the rights to a song after somebody else already made it a hit. See Jimmy Iovine, Pussycat Dolls, and their hit Don't Ya? Yeah, but these cooking videos are the best for me, even from this one who, she gets high every one. She kneels below the cabinet every video, smoke starts billowing up, and then She comes up with glassy red eyes and then on to usually making some weed head's version of chicken tenders. But she'll also go on a munchies bender and just start throwing stuff into the mix. Just using any kind of cheese they have, substituting ingredients, adding ingredients. It's what you would expect from somebody on Cloud 9 to make. But I just saw this video while scrolling of a dude recounting seeing a video himself of a chef or cook taking out a cast iron skillet, setting the oven at 350 while adding two whole sticks of butter in the skillet, a whole package of Betty Crocker yellow cake mix, and pouring a whole can of Sprite over that mix without mixing. Don't mix. Just make sure it's spread out, covering the entire skillet bottom. Put it in the oven for, I think he said, about 40 minutes, and it sort of looked like crumbled cake in the end, and dude fell on the floor and had a foodgasm to try and convince it was the tastiest thing he had all month. And it might have been. Who am I to say otherwise? It could have been delicious. But here's my thing. We know old girl was high that I was just talking about before her cooking video. She showed off all the smoke in her red eyes. Some of these other cooks and recipes, though, we're only left to assume because, how high do you have to be to take out a cast iron skillet, put in not one but 2 whole sticks of butter, a whole package of yellow cake, and don't mix, just spread it out, like somebody high would do, and then pour a whole can of Sprite in it before baking that for 40 minutes. Who else would come up with that? I mean, this is all to say, legalizing weed has added a lot of tasty desserts to our cookbooks, because who else is going, oh man, we don't have any sugar, but hey, pour that can of Sprite in there. And only somebody else who's high would go, okay.
Please do subscribe to the audio version of The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to the video version of the podcast on the YouTube channel, The Goodness Factor with Shelley Wade.
Straight from the hip. If I could, I will fight that little man as long as I can, babe. You got that kind of loving that she never had, girl. I was just messing with your mama to make you mad. She couldn't do all the things that you could do. You know what I'm talking about. She must have put a hex on me, baby, by using hoodoo. Tell her again, Jason.
And that's it for another Real Pod Newscast. Thanks as always for listening, and please hit me up with any feedback on the show, good or bad. I'd love to hear it all, and just regaining control of all of my accounts on social media, so I'll actually be able to read and hear and reply to some of these messages I've been getting. Credits for songs played during the episode, that'll be listed by Saturday on the show's Facebook page. Other than that, have a great hump day and rest of the week. Back next Wednesday.
This has been the Real Pod Newscast with Levon Putney from Show Enough Productions. And for more, hit up the website, realpodnewscast.com. That's real with 2 E's. This is Big Daddy Marty Allen. Thanks for listening.
Show enough.